Alright everybody, so as I was talking to some various colleagues of mine about knife sharpening and knives and stuff, I decided that haven't really found a really good video on knife sharpening just like randomly at the house. A lot of people are using belt sanders and grinders and all that. Very rarely do I see a three-sided whetstone such as this. Uh, these are, I don't even know the exact brand. Had this for many years. Serves me very well. But I just kind of wanted to go over some of the basics on getting a stone, some of the different types of uses, and the different textures of the rocks. So, as you can see here, we have three stones, of course, and you probably won't be able to read it, but one is fine, one is medium, and one is coarse. If you had a blade that you just got done chopping stuff up, and say you were butchering meat and you hit a bone and put a nick in your blade, so you'd use the coarse for. Alright. If you had just a very minor did-dad in your blade, you could use the medium. And when you're putting your finishing edge on, you would use your fine stone. Generally, I just go for the medium, especially on like my Tano or my everyday carry blade. The reason that I do that is because it puts more of a working edge on, so it will retain the edge a little bit better. It's not going to be like a scalpel and with one cut be no good. Plus, you know, you can take and run your finger across it and not, you know, be in too bad a shape as to where with the spike, which is more of my defensive weapon, this does not get deployed in everyday use. If this is all I have on me and somebody asks if I have a knife, I will generally tell them no unless it's like very few people around, because needless to say, people get pretty freaked out if you pull that sucker out and, yeah, I got a knife, you know. So I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of put my edge on this. I'm gonna use the fine rock, which I should wipe these rocks down. Every once in a while you're gonna want to wipe them down because you'll get shavings and filings and everything on there. One thing that you do want to use if you're going to be really going is oil. You can use any oil for this, really. I use Rem oil, Hoppy's oil, you name it, just any kind of oil that'll keep everything nice and smooth. But I'm just going to do a couple of passes here for demonstration purposes. So one of the big things is you want to hold your knife, you know, in a good angle. And this is really tricky. It's really hard to explain how to do it, other than if you have a completely flat ground blade like that, where it's, you know, completely, there's no, you know, if the blade comes straight down, like, you know, that, there we go, alright, as compared to being like that, where it comes down, and then you have your edge like that, it's not that bad. You can kind of take and lay the blade completely on the stone, and it'll kind of work like that. But I like to put a little bit more pitch, just instead of laying completely on the stone, I like to put just a little bit more pitch on it to bring it up. Alright, so we'll just do a couple passes like that, and you'll definitely know when you have it. It just kind of feels right. It's kind of a hard feeling to explain, but after 3 or 4 passes of one way, do the exact same, and it's always easier to go away from you. Just unfortunately you can't go away from you all the time. You have to come toward you, and that's the hardest part. So just a couple passes, and you want to be pushing away, but at the same time be going like that. So, and not too much pressure, just enough, you know. And also something you can do is, so you can see, you might not be able to see it, there's a little bit of stuff on my finger there from this stone. One thing you can do is, if you have rust on the grind of your blade, you would take and get your medium stone out. You go to your medium stone, and this one's got a little bit on it, and you could just take and just kind of, you know, just real quick, not anything real fancy. And if it's real bad, you would take and go to like your really rough stone. But on this one, it's not too bad. And like I say, for this one, I just take and put a good utility edge on it. It's sharp, but not incredibly razor sharp. Tannos are a little bit different story. Go back to my fine edge here because I need to kind of work on this one a bit. Since it's a completely straight blade, okay, and if you're using a Tanno for chopping like I use this one, you'll never have to worry about the front, as I mentioned in my last video. You're just gonna have to worry about this edge. Alright. So with Tannos, the best way I found is just to kind of pull them towards you and move them along. No sweep, no nothing, just complete, you know, push and pull. Alright, straight. Now, I'm indeed not an expert at this, but I think I'm pretty good at it for doing knives for my own use. I do it on a fairly regular basis. I gotta keep all my knives in tip-top shape, of course. You know, and I mean that puts a good edge on it. Not incredible, but enough to get the job done. I'm not real big on having razor sharp edges. Not on all my knives anyway. One thing that you do want to do after you get everything done to prevent any kind of rusting, particularly on the grind, where there's not going to be any coating. You can see how it's polished on the grind there, as all knives are, or on knives that are like the Spike here that have no coating on them at all. They're just completely stainless. You're going to want to put a good coat of oil on them, and it doesn't hurt to do the entire blade in oil. It doesn't at all. But really, you just want to kind of get the grind, particularly, and that'll keep rust from forming, and that'll keep your blade from getting brittle and chipping off when you're chopping stuff up. So that's just a real quick did-dad of how I sharpen my knives. Nothing too crazy. You can use just a straight, small, you know, Arkansas stone, but if you're going to be sharpening anything larger than like 4 inches, you're definitely going to want to get something similar to this 6 or even an 8-inch tri-stone. These can usually be had for $20 to $25, so well worth it. And you know, if you're going to spend good money on a blade, I say keep it in tip-top shape, because when you get to talking about spending $200, $300, $400 on some knives, just kind of makes sense to keep everything as in best shape as you can. So, alright, well, thanks for watching. Practice and enjoy. And if anybody's got any comments or questions, leave them below. Alright, see ya.